with companies at 2030, by which you can be said to have discharged a corporate social responsibility. So maybe by contributing to the Prime Minister National Relief Fund, you may not claim 100% because under Section 80G, the entire amount may qualify for Section 80G, but then the limit of deduction under Section 80G is confined to 50%. So you may end up in paying tax with reference to 50%, but then जो मिल जाए वहीं से.
Since the 80G की बाकी donations भी चल जाएंगे.
बाकी
most of the people are trying to play trust.
Yes.
For the purpose of implementing CSR.
Yes. Then it will be alright, because those objects which are there into the relevant schedule of Companies Act, you see that you have to make contribution. So if they are eligible for 80G, if they are registered at 80G, then you can make contributions to them, and then
In certain cases 100% reduction is there.
Yes.
Those cases 100%
yes. Sir, I will give pointers to my distinguished here. My elder brother, my guru, and मुझे तो आज बताया उन्होंने कहा गुरु दक्षिणा है तो इसलिए मुझे याद है 1988, it was raining very heavily, 1987 or 88. I and my partner Dr. Raj, we came on a scooter from Faridabad to discuss with our elder brother Vinod Jain Sahab at his residence in Daryaganj. Then for the first time he told me about the income tax appellate. Before that I did not know. Rather, I don't have any hesitation in saying that even during my studies as chartered accountant, I did not read the chapter. So I did not know about the income tax appellate tribunal. So I asked him something about it. He told me that income tax appellate tribunal, what is this? Final fact finding body. And it is at the 10th floor of Lok Nayak Bhavan. And I remember very vividly, he named Mr. Ganeshan. Mr. Ganeshan is chartered accountant. He is no more in active practice. And once upon a time he was a doyen. He was the king of tribal practice. And I asked him, how can I see the tribunal? Whether can I go? Then he gave me certain inputs to me at that time. And after that my life changed. And I did not know that thereafter I will do tribunal and tribunal only. So Vinodji, as my guru, my elder brother, has a very special place in my heart and will always remain till I breathe last. Thank you. I have to go another place and I am not required anymore because. हाँ सर.
ABC में फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने इसको दो जगह इसका मेंशन आया. पहले तो PPF का.
No, PPF is an enabling investment.
ऐसा तो नहीं है कि वो एडिशनल
No, because वो एक यदि कोई आदमी PPF में इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहे तो पहले उसके लिए कैप था 1 लाख का. अब वो 1.5 लाख इसलिए कर दिया कि 80 1.5 लाख.
ABC में सबका कैप
टोटल मिला के 1.5 लाख है.
पहले जैसे 1 लाख जैसे MSC भी 1 लाख है.
हाँ कुछ भी हो लेकिन सब मिला के.
अब MSC भी 1.5 लाख है.
NSC के लिए 1 लाख ऐसे नहीं था. वो 80C की वजह से आप 1 लाख का ही लेते थे. जो कैप था अपने आप में वो 80CCD में 1 लाख का था. वो आज भी 1 लाख. हाँ नहीं 80CCD में उसको 1 लाख से 1.5 लाख नहीं किया. 80CCD में जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो 1 लाख रुपए तक है आज भी. तो 50,000 आपको फिर और रेवेन्यूज में देखना पड़ेगा. यदि आप 80CCD में 1 लाख करते हैं तो 50, यदि आप 1.5 लाख रुपए वहीं कर देते हैं तो फिर आपको और कुछ नहीं. थैंक यू.
बहुत धन्यवाद. अच्छा ये हमारा परम सौभाग्य है कि आज आपने यहाँ आकर के हमें अपने ज्ञान से ज्ञान बढ़ा. सर एक बस छोटा सा मैं सुनील सेठी जी से रिकमेंड करूँगा कि वो एक टोकन ऑफ लव के रूप में हमारा स्मृति चिन्ह रक्षा कर सकते हैं. आइए मिल जाइए.
इसकी
थैंक यू सेठी साहब. बहुत धन्यवाद ऐसा। मैं संजीव जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि वो आए और राज साहब का एक माला पहना करके स्वागत करें। जैन साहब का मैं नवीन जी से निवेदन करूँ आए और मंचा सिंह हूँ। हेलो, मैं विनोद गोयल जी से निवेदन करूँगा एक माला पहनाकर नवीन जी का स्वागत करें। मैं नरेंद्र गोदारी से निवेदन करूँगा वो आए और एक हमारी जो सीए का लोगो है उसे जैन साहब के हृदय पटल पर बनाएं। मैं रवि जी से गुप्ता जी से निवेदन करूँगा वो आए और एक जो हमारा सीए का लोगो है अल्फाबेट ऑफ ट्रस्ट वो नवीन जी के हृदय पटल पर लगाने की कोशिश करें। मैं वर्षा औजारी से निवेदन करूंगा कि एक पुष्प गुच्छ जैन साहब को सप्लीमेंट करें। बेटा फूल मैं संजीव जी से निवेदन करूंगा वो आए और एक पुष्प गुच्छ नवीन जी को सप्लीमेंट करें। अरे आलोक का है क्या? आलोक आलोक जी को बोलिए। आलोक जी को बोलिए। मैं ज़्यादा समय न लेते हुए जैन साहब से निवेदन करूँगा कि वो जैन आप
हमेशा आपके विवाद कमी तो मिलजुल करते साथ में आपको सर्विस देंगे ना। बिफोर वी मूव ऑन टू सर्विस टैक्स ठीक है। देखिए गर्मी सबके लिए है, कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। थैंक यू सो मच राकेश जी, आपने इतने प्यार से बुलाया है, सब लोग बैठे हैं सुनने के लिए और हम लोग आपस में सर कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स आर यूज्ड टू ऑल काइंड ऑफ दिस, कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं। आई थिंक वी शुड डॉक्टर राकेश गुप्ता ने हालांकि आप सबको सब चीज़ों से ऑलरेडी इंट्रोड्यूस करा दिया है एंड डॉक्टर साहब of course covers everything in greater detail, very great detail. I will make my presentation in little, you can say in a simpler manner, the manner in which I read the law. I read the law a little differently, sometimes as compared to others, and I think implications more important thing, not the law alone. What is going to the implications? I think before we go into the direct taxes, I would like to make some initial opening remarks because these are very, very important changes which we see in the whole approach by the government when they are dealing with the taxation laws, when they are dealing with all of us as their subject. When Mr. Arun Jaitley actually started this his maiden speech before all of us, I think very, very important, he has made some very important announcements which will have long-term bearing on each one of us, not only as tax practitioners, but also as assessees ourselves and subject of this great country. We are all aware that Bharatiya Janata Party, when it came out with its own election manifesto, had promised to all of us that they will make tax laws less cumbersome, more simple, and maybe more assessee friendly. And I think the concept of tax terrorism. Of course, there is no AK-47 rifle or there are no bombs, but actually the provisions, there are several provisions, the way they were being brought about, the way they were being implemented, were actually acting like as bombs or grenades to genuine business SSCs as well as many times many of us as practitioners. So that is why his few announcements which he has committed on behalf of the government are very, very important for all of us. The first and foremost announcement which he has made is with reference to retrospective amendment. We are all aware that after the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Vodafone matter in respect of capital gain, the government of India has brought about a retrospective amendment to the taxation laws, trying to bring back taxation to the Vodafone transition in respect of transfer and bringing capital gain taxation. This single amendment done by the government had been subject matter of tremendous amount of you can say criticism, not only within India but also internationally, and has severely impacted the international investment into India and even Indian investors' confidence into the tax department and to the government of India has been shattered very, very badly. I think the manner in which the Honorable Finance Minister has now announced, we do not go into the wordings, but I think we understand his meaning correctly. He has committed to us that the retrospective amendment will be something which is a matter of past. And in future, if at all, although he said that we do not want to surrender our right as a sovereign to bring out retrospective amendment, but at the same time we understand that the retrospective amendment has to be brought out only in very, very exceptional circumstances. What would be those exceptional circumstances cannot be decided now, because sovereign right depends on future what kind of conditionalities which may arise. But by making this announcement, he also said that the announcement, that retrospective amendment which was made in 2012 and maybe in some other years, those amendments will also be referred to a high-powered committee within the CBDT, so that they will really look into as to what can be really done, and if necessary legislative amendments will be brought about to give necessary relief to wherever there is an injustice which is being happening somewhere. This is one major area where I see, you can say, this is first finance bill which I have seen where they have tried to correct certain areas where harassment has been happening of the SSC. Most of the time when tax law comes, they primarily come to actually plug the loophole where taxation authorities are not able to actually collect tax. But I think I will try and touch upon in my own manner few areas where, for example, the TDS portion which Dr. Rakesh Kumar was talking about, earlier 100% was being disallowed. The government on its own had come forward and said we'll disallow only 30% because the withholding tax are in the range of 10% or 20%. Why do actually disallow you the entire income tax, entire income as reduction, entire payment as reduction? We'll disallow only 30%. This kind of approach, of course, has, although in certain views it might be halfway, but at least government has started traveling towards us to try and give confidence to each one of us. Another very important thing which has been brought to the table is that the Finance Minister is saying that we will try and give you a more stable tax design. That means we will not do something which is promised today. I am referring actually to primarily, for example, special economic zone was brought about by this government. They gave all kind of taxation relief to the special economic zone. From one hand, kept on giving. All across India, large number of special economic zone investments were made. People acquired land and building. They started creating assets. A lot of assets were also created. But ultimately, government actually came back and said, no, special economic zone, all right, but we'll try and put MAT into it. They actually levied MAT taxation on all units which are operating in special economic zones, thereby practically, doing away with what they intended to do, which they announced with great fanfare. A lot of investment came nationally as well as internationally in development of special economic zones. So I think giving a stable and predictable, I think he used both the words stable and predictable tax design will be something which is very important. The third thing which he has said is we will try and make our best effort that the dispute between the SSC and the tax department get reduced significantly. And I am told this exercise is already begun in the department, because currently what is happening as far as dispute is concerned, there is an assessment in 1 year, and once you do the assessment, you go in for appeal. In the appeal, either at the commissioner appeal level or at the appellate authority ITAT level, you win that appeal on particular subject matter. By the time you are winning the appeal for the commissioner appeal or the income tax affiliated tribunal, the next year a similar case again comes up. So not only, even if you have won this matter into appeal, even then several additions on the similar grounds are still made. Not only that, most importantly what is troubling is, as far as dispute is concerned, is that you win the appeal at CIT level. If the amount involved is beyond a particular size, the department is automatically making an appeal without even exercising the judgment as to whether this is something which is already covered by a High Court judgment or a Supreme Court judgment, or what is the genuinity of this appeal, this decision. Even if CIT give a judgment on the basis of a decided judgment or based on logic which the government is not denying, but there is an automatic appeal. Not only this appeal goes from CIT to ITAT automatically, it goes from ITAT to High Court, from High Court to even Supreme Court in a large number of matters. Even if there is no legal issue involved, even then they try and bring forth a legal issue and try and, it might be a fact issue, even then they go in for appeal. So this rigmarole has to actually really go away. And I think we have, the government is actually discussing, they have not been able to implement this so far, but the discussion is going on because a commitment has been done by the government as to how to ensure that there should be some panel or something within the government so that all the disputes, the management, before an appeal is made, an exercise of mind is done at the end of the department rather than it is happening in a technical manner. Next matter which is of course again an important direction is that the advance ruling in direct taxes as well as in indirect taxes has now been made available even to a domestic SSC. Of course, advance ruling is coming, it is taking a lot of time, and the government has to definitely address the advance ruling issue. But advance ruling will be very important area of which will actually bring a lot of problems to one side whenever there is a SSC, while he is actually planning something, he is in double mind how the government will really take it. And a number of SSC do not want litigation, and those who do not want litigation, for them it will make sense that they can actually go to the government and try and settle this issue by way of advance ruling. I think one more attempt which we all of us are trying to do with the government is that this advance ruling authority should be done in a judicious manner, not similar to as if you're trying to give some relief to the SSC. It should be done in a judicial manner based on what is the intention of the government, and accordingly it should be done based on whatever the correct interpretation principles. Yes, sir. I think these advanced ruling issues, they have to get to bring that law. That is what they have said. Although they are talking in case of service tax, they are talking only of the domestic companies. Only domestic companies they are talking. Private entities. Public companies are there now, in private companies they are bringing. But I think the intention of the government is it will even be extended to other SSCs, because for that they want to bring some kind of a law. I think that is what the also announcement is there, that they will be bringing out a separate law as far as this advance ruling is concerned, because a detailed law they want to bring so that this can become really more effective. It is a very important area, but today it is not being actually given that kind of a benefit, because the time taken itself for advance ruling is quite a lot, and that's why the benefit actually goes. Like even the judicial authorities which are actually doing advance ruling, I have my doubt about whether they are actually doing judiciously. Many of them, with all due regard to them, many times we see their judgments, the manner in which they have been done in advance ruling, you are not able to really agree with them. Whatever, you might not be involved in a case, but when you read it independently, but then you are not able to agree with them, because they are not based on the spirit of the law, they are based on their own thinking process as to what should be the law, rather than what is the law. They decide many times on the basis, that's right.
Putting the cart in front of the horse.
That's right.
You have to give a ruling right in the beginning. You may not be able to sustain that ruling later.
No, I think, but ultimately once the advance ruling is given, that is binding on the department, provided the facts of the case are same for that particular SSC. It may not be applicable to all of the SSC, that is what of course is clearly said by the Advanced Ruling Authority. But in case suppose I am the SSC, I give all the facts to them, then once the ruling comes, I pay tax on that basis. Government is bound with it, bound with that.
But that won't be of any use to other people.
That will not be used.
Even though the facts may be the same.
No, actually, this issue, whether the facts are same or the facts are not same, it is a very, very difficult issue to actually decide. It is like a CA final student, when he fails and he sees suggested answer, he always has a feeling, I only gave the same answer, but still in spite of that I am failing. Because and many of them, when now even we have started giving them photocopies, a large number they come and tell us, इंस्टीट्यूट ने तो गलत फेल कर दिया जब देखो ना हमारा तो आंसर सजेस्टेड आंसर से मिलता है, और जब आप उसे लेकर बैठते हैं सामने देखते हैं तो पता लगता है कि आदमी की फीलिंग ही है सिर्फ कि मेरा फैक्ट सेम है या मेरा आंसर सेम है, ये समथिंग लाइक ऐसी कोई बात है. तो आई थिंक हम लोग सब सीए के स्टूडेंट्स सिर्फ बात को अच्छे से समझ सकते हैं व्हाट आई एम ओनली ट्राइंग टू से. तो इसीलिए सर फैक्ट सेम होना बड़ा मुश्किल काम. यू आर सेइंग समथिंग सर.
बेसिकली आप कह रहे थे कि वेदर ये जो हाउ हार्टेड के लिए अप्रोच तो इनकी सॉरी टू से पॉजिटिव एडवांस रूलिंग के अंदर नहीं.
आज के डेट में बिल्कुल पॉजिटिव नहीं है सर, मैं बिल्कुल मानता हूँ. पर हमें ऐसा लगता है जिस हिसाब से ये जो नई सरकार है, जिसने कमिटमेंट हम सबसे किया है, इन्हें इस बात को ऑनर करना पड़ेगा कि assessing authorities are not to actually create harassment for us. They are actually here to collect reasonable taxes, not they are supposed to collect unreasonable taxes. I think that entire approach is good. देखिए वैसे एक और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात डिबेट हो रही है सरकार के अंदर, जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जो हमारे हैं उन्होंने एक बात कही थी इलेक्शन से पहले चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स की मीटिंग में दिल्ली में, कि हम कोशिश ये करेंगे कि सरकार का और सरकार के नुमाइंदों का पर्सनल इंटरेक्शन जितना कम से कम हो सके उसे करें. और इनकम टैक्स के बारे में देखिए बहुत जोर की चर्चा चल रही है विद इन द टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट. हम लोगों ने बहुत दिन से टेकअप कर रखा है शुरू के बिहार में बट इनफॉर्मली दैट द इंटरफेस बिटवीन द एसएससी एंड द डिपार्टमेंट शुड गो अवे. इट शुड गो अवे टू द मैक्सिमम एबिलिटी. अब हमने देखा रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कंपनीज में जब से ये इंटरफेस खत्म हुआ है तो प्रैक्टिकली हमने देखा है कि करप्शन भी खत्म हो गया, हैरेसमेंट भी ऑलमोस्ट खत्म हो गया. तो अगर हम आई एम ओनली ड्रीमिंग ऑफ ए सिचुएशन which in all likelihood it may come in about 2 years, not in 1 year. It will be difficult. Maybe in 2 years we should be able to convince the government that there is an electronic system. All of us file our income tax return like right now electronically. It goes to somebody who examine it and send you questions electronically. Those answers may not go to the person who has raised those questions. It may go to somebody else, depending on how the computer really takes in. And those answers are examined, and once those answers are examined, I think he can raise even supplementary questions if necessary. And only in exceptional circumstances, there should be a personal hearing which should be possible. And that personal hearing, if it happens, it should happen in public. You know, I have a similar experience dealing with a taxation matter in Australia. I represented one of my clients in Australia. There was a very large appeal matter. A very large demand was there in case of our client, and we had filed an appeal. And I insisted upon that we should be allowed to, appear before the tax authorities. In spite of our persuasion for about 6-8 months, they were not prepared to give us time that they should hear us. Then when I kept on pursuing from India, I even called up senior officers at commissioner level. They ultimately said, as a special case, we'll allow you to come. So I went along with all my necessary submissions. When I went outside itself, I was told at the entry gate itself that this is an exceptional case. We are actually allowing you personal hearing. This personal hearing will be entirely recorded. And when they went inside, the concerned commissioner who was to hear me was there. He introduced me to it. He said, here is our joint attorney general who is sitting on my left. And here on my right are there are the 2 officers who will be taking notes of exactly what you are going to say. And everything is getting video as well as audio recorded. You know, in this kind of atmosphere, if the interaction between the assessing officer and the assessee is going to happen, some of us may feel that possibly our value might get impacted, maybe our work may get impacted, but I feel we will get tremendously actually benefited, because then we will be paid for value which professionally all of us are adding. not only at the time of assessment, but even earlier when the advice is happening. Because right now the SSC, a larger SSC feel that they can get away with anything, and they will be able to really, even if they have done blunders, once it comes to assessment, they will be able to please the officer concerned and they will be able to do something. But if suppose the interaction is not going to happen, and even if it is going to happen, it is going to happen in a circumstance when everything is so transparent, and the decision maker do not know about whom the decision maker is making. The person who is pleading, he also do not know in the earlier stages. I am sure we'll go in a better direction. I think this was only theoretical thing which we are discussing right now.
उसका तो definitely फर्क पड़ेगा ही. If we send in quality work to the department,
then we can charge our fee appropriately.
We can definitely get better fees. अभी तो हम भी वेट के देखी जाएगी जैसे आप कह रहे हैं फ्रॉड या वो जो है वहाँ जाके चल गया IT में भी और इधर तब तो फिर चलते हैं. और क्या होता है हाई कोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट में होती होगी जजमेंट. मुझे नहीं
आप उसे तुक्का कह रहे हैं. हमारे यहाँ वो गिरीश आवले जी बड़ी सी बात कहती है, यू आर एबल टू सेटिस्फाई द. गिरीश जी ने बहुत अच्छा हमें जो है ना इसके बारे में दिया कि यू आर एबल टू एक्चुअली सेटिस्फाई. हमारे
उसमें लिखा हुआ है, लॉ में लिखा हुआ है.
लॉ में तो लिखा ही है सर. लॉ में तो लिखा है सेटिस्फाइड को इंडिकेट आवाज में अगर हम बात करते हैं तो ये बात है. देखिए एक और बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने कही कि पिछली सरकारों ने इनकम टैक्स सेटलमेंट कमीशन को लगभग किल कर दिया था. Now the government proposed to bring out a comprehensive legislation to ensure that the income tax settlement should actually be able to be brought back to the statute book in a more reasonable manner. I think मैं इस सारी बातें सिर्फ वही बता रहा हूँ broadly because details of the law of course we have already understood from Dr. Rakesh Gupta, but I think what is in store for us that should really become clearer to us. Another important thing is the government has announced that bringing out a high-level committee which will be set up, which will interact with trade and industry on a regular basis, and so that more clarity can be brought to the tax laws, so that all this dispute which is happening because of lack of clarity can always be taken care. For example, we are talking about this FII have been given a special benefit this year, that whatever investment they have, it will be treated as capital asset and will be subjected to capital gain tax rather than business taxation, even if the fund manager is in India. So, if similar situation, we have been suggesting to the department, if suppose somebody is buying and selling shares within a period of a month, it can be possibly treated as business transaction. But if you are keeping it beyond 1 month to 3 months or 1 month to 1 year, or maybe this could be 3 months can be the benchmark, in that case it can be treated as a short-term capital gain, and beyond that long-term capital gain, except in cases when I am in the business itself of buying and selling of shares, then obviously I will declare in advance and accordingly it can be accepted even in case of more than 3 months or more than 1 month exercise also. Suppose law में ऐसे कुछ changes कर दिए जाते हैं तो एक unnecessary litigation जो है उसको विराम मिल सकता है. And I think all of us can actually plan our affairs in a better manner while we are undertaking our transactions. As to what will be the ultimate
single demat account has been introduced for all the SSC.
जी sir.
Now, suppose SSC is like so to do separate demat account for trading business and separate demat account for investment business.
देखिए सिंगल डीमेट अकाउंट का मतलब नहीं कि आप सिर्फ एक ही डीमेट अकाउंट रख सकते हैं. प्लीज अप्रिशिएट दिस. ये सिंगल डीमेट अकाउंट की जो घोषणा है उसको काइंडली आपने गलत डायरेक्शन में ले लिया. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं एक से ज्यादा डीमेट अकाउंट नहीं रख सकता. इसका मतलब उन्होंने ये दिया है कि एक डीमेट अकाउंट में शेयर्स भी रह सकेंगे, बॉन्ड्स भी रह सकेंगे, डिबेंचर्स भी रह सकेंगे, आपकी डेरिवेटिव्स भी रह सकेंगे. एवरीथिंग कैन रियली हैपन. tomorrow there are securitization transaction, even securitization can also happen in demat account. This सबके लिए single demat account होगा. That is my interpretation of the whole thing. I don't think there is any restriction to hold more than one demat account. That is not the intention of the legislature. और ऐसा कहीं मेरी रीडिंग में ऐसा कुछ हमें मिला भी नहीं कि आप सिंगल डीमेट अकाउंट का मतलब कि आप एक साथ डीमेट अकाउंट नहीं रख सकते. ऐसी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. You can always keep more than one demat account. I don't think that is the intention of the government. ये फैसिलिटी है, ये रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है.
We are using the word single.
A single demat account is primarily for this purpose so that even all kind of securities can be happen. आज की देखिए हम आज की डेट में वो टैक्स लिंक बॉन्ड में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. तरीके की इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो सारी उसमें डीमेट में नहीं आते. उसके लिए कहीं कोई कहता है कि हम अलग डीमेट अकाउंट. अब मान लिया रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट आए उनकी यूनिट्स हैं, उनको डिमेटलाइज करना होगा, तो वो इक्विटी वाले डिमेट में आ पाएंगे नहीं पाएंगे, बहुत सारे सवाल खड़े हो रहे थे. तो नेचुरली ऑल काइंड ऑफ investment can really come into this one single demat account. This is a very positive